So we got a few topics for today. First, let's get into like what everybody's smoking on right now. I'm smoking on that biscotti gelato still. I had to re-up on that because it's almost as good as gelato cake, but not quite. It's like a step down. If I'm
Yeah,
being
yeah,
honest. It's got good flavor, nice mellow high. It's a bit dry though, so I did talk to Strain about that. I say, yo, these new containers is trash. I had to
yeah.
let him know, like the new containers, the little hockey pucks, like it has that gap in it, so it dries out the flower. But I mean, it's still a good smoke. So what are y'all smoking on?
Um, right now I got some white Mac and I got some outdoor soap. So the outdoor soap is super flavorful, very soapy taste, very dialed in taste. It's the most dialed in I've had of any of the cookie batches. This is pretty much the most dialed in flavor I've had. And the white Mac was very surprising, very fruity, very tasteful. And it's a low number THC, but it still hits pretty good. Um, but the soap it tastes really well and it still hits pretty hard. So that one right there is my favorite for the week is the soap, and then white Mac is it's a very surprising, flavorful, very fruity taste to it.
All right, bet. What about you, man?
I've been chiefing on this secret weapon that I got from Harvest, and I finally found where I hid that last little bit of rosé that I had from the homies over at Shore Natural. So you
Yeah,
already know, because the other bonus, if we talk about strays and such, I just remembered the place I can actually find some more Shore Natural. So I'm definitely about to go hunting for that wet and punch, because I'm glad I can just get it within less than an hour drive. You know what I mean? So yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I
That
feel
wet
like
punch is
short.
especially in that market is out.
Yeah, I feel like short naturals don't get enough shine, man. Like above all
They
the other
sell out.
growers,
They sell
they
out
do.
quick. Yeah,
What's funny is since they're on the shore, a lot of the places like don't even keep it in stock that much because it's like they usually bring it out this side and it sells out. And I've seen it at Remedy the most between Remedy and Gold Leaf. They
yeah,
usually have it the most.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I
both of
always
those
get
is
it
a
from
little
sure.
dry for me. But they, I found that they actually got some. I'm so glad. But they show a little love to to a shop out in Upper Marlboro. That's on my PG side. So to get some more shore, easy peasy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now you spoke on the soap, which is
yeah.
cookies, and that being a part of Colta and that whole brand and things like that. Let's get into. I guess you want to start with the cookie thing, or you want to start with like Colta and like the lobby.
Oh
Like
yeah.
which one?
Okay. Yeah.
Because
So
it kind of segues into like both, honestly.
it does. Let's start at home, because the people who are that we're kind of trying to target this to is Marylanders. So let's start
Yeah,
at what Colta. But it's not just Colta. It's a
yeah, it's still
conglomerate
yeah,
of big guys here in Maryland lobbying to do away with homegrown. Like that's
yeah.
not trying to get it legalized. So let's start with that. That's very unfortunate. It's been the buzz on Reddit for the past like 2 weeks. Um, and people are just not, they're not happy about it. Like to the point where I don't really want to support the cookies brand. I don't want to support Colts. I don't want to support the guys that are actually lobbying against home grow. But at the same rate, the guys that's lobbying against home grow are also the guys that's putting out some pretty good flower on the Maryland market. So we're in a catch 22 where it's like, hey, I don't support the stand you guys are on because you're the money guys. When you're a money guy, you gotta take a stand like that because you don't want people to try to encroach on your business. So from their point of view, I'm thinking they may believe that hey, if they support home grow, that's going to take away from their business somehow. But on my point of view, I want the right to be able to purchase flower as well as grow my own flower. I have the right to purchase tomatoes, and I have the right to to grow my own tomatoes. That don't mean I'm
Yeah.
putting Giant out of business because I want to grow my own tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's not the case. So we're at a pretty good catch-22 because I saw Grassroots in there. Grassroots, one of my favorite companies, and when I saw them on that conglomerate, I was hurt. Like, dude, you guys put out quality. Like Coulter, we can talk shit about Coulter all day. They're Baltimore guys. They're one of the leading cannabis companies in Maryland. They got the license to sell cookies here in the state, to grow cookies here in the state. So that gives them a leading edge. We already hate on Curio because Curio, that guy, Mike, I think it's Reinstein or something like that. But that guy was the talk of the town maybe 2 years ago for trying to stop new growers to come in for new MMCC licenses. So we're already looking down on Curio. And then when this pops up, of course, Curio is going to be on there because Mike already said he dumped 10 million into trying to get Curio off the ground, and he doesn't want any new competition so he can try to recoup that money back. So it's like, dude, we're at a very rock and a hard place type of position here as patients in Maryland because we don't want to support these guys that don't support us, but at the same time, these are the guys that's putting out quality on the market.
I just gotta, and I definitely know less than you, bro, but because I'm just curious, and maybe y'all might know just on the other states, because my thing has always been like, you know, like Cali did it first, but Colorado did that shit perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I got a refund from being out in Colorado or whatever. That's how sweet it is, and that's my thing. And like all these places, you can still run like what, a plant or two, or like in some places like Oklahoma, like you run like 10 or something crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm pretty sure if you look at all those companies out there and their numbers, that don't stop their dollars, especially if you're growing true pro shit, let alone all the people, because you know, I'll be on chats and stuff less than y'all, but like I've even seen some people when they were talking about the home grows, a couple people would say, well shit, I hope it work out for everybody that want it, but it's like I don't got time to be growing this shit. Like I'll definitely give it a try when all things are proper and correct. You know what I'm saying? But like it's definitely like there's some old heads out here that's just like, just give me some good weed. You can have my money and all that shit. So like I just don't understand. And I feel like that we have examples out there in the West, Midwest, or wherever the hell have you, is like, I promise you, like yeah, they can grow their own shit in Colorado, but tell me a Colorado business is hurting if you was doing what you was supposed to do when you was growing good dope.
Those numbers ain't saying that. Colorado's steadily putting in good numbers as far as tax is concerned from cannabis business. So yeah, they not hurting at all. It's not going to hurt to say, hey, allow the patients to grow at least 3 plants. It's not going to hurt at all.
It's about control, man.
It's a little disheartening that, you know, we've got some of our favorite brands like lobbying against, like, but also understand lobbying just means that they trying to raise the money, enough money to give to politicians to pass that law. That's all lobbyists do. Lobbyists just talk to politicians and try to grease palms. So it is going to cost them a lot of money to try to get this law passed, really. And it's not even because the politicians want to be on the side of the people. It's more like, oh, we see you guys want this. It's going to cost you. How bad do you guys want this? So that's the game we're in now. They're lobbying against it, and which means they're raising money. They're trying to raise enough money to give to these organizations or to give to these politicians to say, hey, make this illegal in the state of Maryland. So it's all about Hogan right now, I guess, and how much money they're going to put in his pocket.
Say less.
That's how you win Super Bowls, people.
What's crazy to me, though, is like you make it legal, but you still make it illegal in the same breath. So you keep like private prisons running, like, you know, to the extreme, to the max. It's still the same. It's different, but it's still the same. Like I can legally go to a store and go, all right, let me get all the weeds that I can handle. But then if I'm like, let me grow all the weeds that I can handle at home, that's illegal. That's still a felony. Like with that whole bill that they presented in New Jersey, that bill was trash. That bill was, I couldn't even believe that politicians sat there and they like wrote that bill and then they were like, oh yeah, it's still a crime for you to grow at home if you're growing marijuana, but if you have cannabis on you, it's different. Like I couldn't believe the language in this bill. Like
What?
I couldn't. Yes, it said that cannabis is totally fine, but marijuana illegal. So like if you get pulled over by a cop, he's like, "Do I smell marijuana?" "No, officer, you smell cannabis." It's like,
Yeah.
like
It's like the Chappelle skit where he was drinking old duels and shit.
so it just, I don't
Old
know, man.
weeds
It
now.
just, I don't understand why this plant is still so like demonized. It's like, I don't know. It's been since the Prohibition era, and now we're in 2021, and we're still debating on if cannabis is safe or not. When it's been shown, it's been proven in countless studies. Countless studies and all these different universities saying that, hey, like THC, CBD significantly decreases inflammation, depression, anxiety, you name it, all of these different things. It helps it. It helps it like 100%. And the fact that we still need studies on it, but I can legally go and I can buy as much alcohol as I want and drink myself to death in one day, it's totally fine. It's totally legal. So it's just a little crazy to me that we have this whole system set up the way that it is. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like I kind of tell a lot of people, in a capitalistic society, you have to just kind of follow the money in order to understand how the laws work. The laws work in this country to protect capitalists. That's why we live in a capitalist society. So like a lot of times you'll hear all this during the political like election time, you hear like these different social parties, oh, you're a socialist, or you're a communist, or all these demonizing words, because that's totally against capitalism. Point of capitalism is to make money. So like we gotta watch where the money goes. It's money in privatized prisons and it's money in legal cannabis. So that's why you have these opposing forces allowed at the same time. So you have to skate as a citizen in a capitalist society. You have to skate in that gray area where you're like, I got a medical card, but if I'm out in the streets willy-nilly smoking weed, I can get locked up and go to prison for it. So I gotta buy my shit still in secret, but it's legal because the state made money from me, but they'll also make money from taking my freedom away. So I'll just willingly give them money instead of having them take my freedom and then get money off of my unwillingness.
See,
so it's a weird gray area we live in this country.
Yeah, I feel that, and 100% on like, unfortunately, that is what it is. So I guess this is why I would jump in on my philosophical sativa shit. But see, this is why it's important for us to show that like you can go and handle your business, you know what I'm saying, through helping being medicated, you know what I'm saying, or even more so, you can get to all the other business that you could be handling if you didn't have to jump through all these fucking hoops to smoke, since we've all had to do since we were young adults, teenagers, whenever you jumped in the game, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you didn't have to go through all these hoops on the legal side, back when it was the street side and all that, what the fuck else could you be doing with your time that could be intrinsically greater for this capitalist society than to have a new slave system and everybody looking behind your backs? Shit, if I had spent so much time driving all the way across town and looking fully behind my back, if it was really sweet and that shit was just stocked in the 7-Eleven or some shit, I can go do that and get back to the million other fucking things I could be doing to help myself, be my best me, and help this whole jank ass country have some new shit to brag about. Who knows? You know?
Speaking of the old jank ass country, we are in the first week of 2021, bro, and they already done took the Capitol there.
6 days, sir. We didn't make it a week. We did not make it a week. We made it 6 days. We made it a work week. Yes.
Yeah, right?
just like America, we was working for the weekend and then we didn't know what the fuck.
Yo, I was watching how they had pieced it together of how that whole thing went down. So like it was like A bunch of people rallied together, maybe a block or two away from the Capitol. Then as they were rallied there, they was like, hey, let's get closer to the Capitol. Let's go to the Capitol. So they marched to the Capitol. While they're outside of the Capitol, emotions are running high. They get mad, talking shit about the politicians in there. They're like, these people in there, they're treasonous, they're thieves. We need to go get them. Let's string them up. And then they literally just started to go in the joint, beat a officer to death, dog, like beat an officer to death, stormed the Capitol. The officers, after I guess they watched their friend get beat to death by the mob, just open the door for the mob, let them Bammers in. Then they tried to storm, I guess, the floor where, you know, they hold all the meetings on C-SPAN and stuff. And then, like, the lady, she was just wrong position, wrong time. Like, she wasn't even the standout person. It was a bunch of people at the door. And Cuz just let off, and she just got hit. Like, he let off one shot, and it hit her right, and, like, she flew back real terrible. Like, so, like, this is the first week of 2021. We got people storming the Capitol, and then we got Runtz and Cookies breaking up. Dog, like,
Yeah.
what happened with that? Like, they, at first,
Yeah.
I saw Burner put up a video on his IG, like I said yesterday in the text. I was like, I didn't know it was direct. Like, the video I saw was Burner. He was just, you know, talking. We got some guys out here who, you know, we're affiliated with, and we showed them love, blah, blah, and they talking bad about us, and then we're going to sever ties in the new year, all this other stuff. It was indirect. And then when y'all hit me on the text yesterday, I had to do my homework, and it was direct. Like, he was saying Ray Bama's name, like Ray Bama from Runtz.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. Like, I wasn't talking about you guys in the song. I wasn't doing this. Yo, like, so what do you guys think that means for that brand, for Runtz? Because right now, in the hip-hop industry, in the culture, Runtz is the hottest thing smoking. And now that it doesn't have that cookie side, because Cookie Burner is pretty much the reason why we have the game that we have right now. Nobody's selling nickels and dimes no more. Everybody is an eighth and up. And they have beautiful bags now. The hype bags are in play. We got this whole hype industry right now. And we can alone say Burner is one of the reasons for that, because he's a rapper. He knows some other rappers. You give them some stuff that you worked on with your homeboy, have them rap about it, boom. Girl Scout Cookies is blown up. You got the Migos rapping about it. You got everybody out west rapping about Girl Scout Cookies, blown up, boom. And now you have him co-signing other brands, you know, to build them up. And then from what it looked like from the outside looking in, and I say outside because I'm all the way on the East Coast. I've never been out there on the West Coast. Like, I've never met those guys. So this is all from, you know, outside looking in. But from the outside looking in, it's like business gets good. Burner helps these brands out. And then as soon as the brands get successful, there's some type of falling out. And they're saying, you know, Burner doesn't know how to do the business. F Burner this, they like talking bad about him. And every time Burner always addresses the situation like, dude, I don't know what happened. Like, we've been reaching out. We're trying to get you guys on business. We're trying to get the numbers right. It's like with the Jungle Boy situation, that wasn't even about numbers. That was just about, I don't know, territory. Like it was on some street shit. Like, yo, why would you open up a store 2 blocks away from my store? Like, this our block. Y'all go in San Francisco. Y'all can't come over this way or something like that. And then, like, with the Gushers and the Biscotti guys, it sounded like they were getting jealous that Burner was the face for those names. Like, he wasn't the face for that brand. It was just, you know, people started saying Gushers and associated it with Cookies because they had like a licensing deal, and Burner was on the forefront trying to push and help push their brand. Now, Sherbinski isn't with Cookies, but he is partnered with them. So they help push Sherbinski's brand. But Sherbinski was such a legend in the game before all of this. type shit happened that he just capitalized off his name. Burner helped him get his own separate business. So Burner helped him start the Stravinsky brand. And then he capitalized off of that. So I'm like, what do you guys think the Runtz name is going to go after this? Because we haven't even got it on this side of Maryland, but Culta really has a bunch of Runtz light trays in their store. And they're no longer about the cookies, yo.
So I think, like, because I was watching it all day. I was watching everybody's like stories. I was watching everybody's pages. So when Burner put that up, luckily I screenshotted all of that stuff because like I already knew it was going to happen. He was going to start deleting stuff, and I was watching other people's pages. I'm like, all right, they're going to delete that too. So I was keeping my ears close to like the cannabis streets. You know what I mean? Like I was watching it, and you know, Burner was just saying like, you know, the dude Ray Banner was in the club, knocked off somebody's hat. You know, they had a cookies hat on. He knocked it off. And he was, you know, this whole altercation happened. And it's got to be more, like, some stuff more behind the scenes here that's going on, because I've heard so many people say bad things about Burner. You know what I mean? And, you know, the owner of Raw, you know, the CEO, president of Raw, you know, for you guys that don't know, he has a huge issue with Burner. Yeah. Burner was trying to, you know, when his whole Vibe paper line, you know, his rolling papers and stuff like that, he wanted to get it off the ground, and he went to the owner of Raw and he was like, yo, like, what do you think about this? And the owner of Raw flat out told him, he's like, you know, these materials that you're using are not good. They're not good. They're not, you know, anywhere where they need to be, where it's safe. And, you know, Burner took that as you know, disrespect. And he's like, oh man, da, da, da. And, you know, he even made a video. The owner of Raw made a video talking about the products and the process of making rolling papers so that they are organic and that they are safe and healthy for like the general public. And he was saying that he basically gave like this 7-minute history of rolling papers and what they do specifically at Raw with the watermarking and the organic gums that they use for, you know, sealing the papers and all that stuff like that.
You know, the donations that go back to planting trees and shit, like they official.
Yeah. Like, and you never hear anything bad about Josh, who is the owner of Raw. Like, I literally never hear anything bad about the guy. He's like the Willy Wonka of rolling papers.
Yo, he really is. I was just about to say,
really
fantastic by default. Like, he's just always happy, really, and it just showed you like a secret pro tip. You're like, let me show you how to like add a design to your cone. All you do is like a fold here, double fold there, and voila. Yeah. I'm like,
and then like I just watched that beef between Josh and Burner, and I'm like, okay, like who was in the wrong here? Because like Josh was flat out like honest. He wasn't on there like, yeah, you must. And then Burner's video was like, yo, man, you like, you know what I mean? Like, you look at his approach versus Burner's approach, and you can kind of see who would be the one popping off and rah, rah, rah. Like, you got someone being calm and the other person being like mad defensive, then you can tell someone that's just how they are when they do business. I always see his videos and he comes off very pretentious. You know what I mean? Everything he does, I fucking hate it. I hate it. I like how you a street dude, but you're so pretentious. You're just like, yeah, so this phenotype comes from the mountains of the Shamalama Ding Dong. You know what I mean? It's just like, I hate the way he fucking talks, bro. It drives me crazy. He just comes off like a douche. You know what I mean? He's like, you know, a lot of these other guys, they're not smoking like us. You know, we have the best phenos, and we got this, and we got this cut of this, and it's the diamond. And it's like, bro, just show me the cannabis. What are the crosses? That's all I care about. And then he just like turns it into.
My fault, bro. That sounds like some Twilight Zone shit to me. Like, you achieve all your dreams of like biggest weed, one of the biggest weed names in the market. It's like, I basically turn weed into like the wine market, but without the wine douchery. That's why it's beautiful. We don't need the wine douchery.
No. And you know, I can't knock his hustle because he's turned this industry basically like upside down as far as like, you look at the pricing now these days because of wrapper weed, it has made the prices of cannabis go up so fucking much.
So
like
fucking high.
I was looking at the prices last year in Maryland versus like, I'm talking like 2018, 2019. And then as soon as 2020 hit, bro, like when the pandemic hit, everybody was like 65, 65,
All the
60,
money.
65, 70. You know what I mean? And it went from
Man.
being like medical and being able to like people actually being able to afford it to like, okay, like we got cookies now, and you know, oh, if they're paying 65 for this, who's to say like now it'll like steamroll into what about 70? And this
Yep.
partnership between cookies and Runtz, I don't think it's gonna totally like break down. I think it's gonna come to like some sort of licensing thing, and cookies is probably gonna take that from them somehow. Because it's like it might happen. I think the whole cookie like Runtz thing is still gonna hit Baltimore. I think they're still gonna get it at Colta because it's already in the works. They already said it's coming. So I don't think it'll be like a huge breakdown, but I think once everything kind of settles, they'll either phase it out of the stores or they'll take over Runtz.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, with the to go back onto the story of like Raw and Josh, what happened with that situation was Raw was dealing with Burner and Wiz Khalifa. So like through them is the reason why we pretty much see Raw everywhere. So he was working out a deal with them, and in working with them, he showed him the process of how to make papers. And when you show a hustler how to do something, he's definitely going to take that shit. So that's what happened. Burner went ahead, saw how to make the papers, and started to do that with Vibes. Once he started producing Vibes, Josh was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what? I thought we had a deal. And then like Burner was like, yeah, we still got a deal, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go ahead and start doing Vibes. And then the relationship got strained like that because Burner definitely did like a sneak move. Cause like you said, Josh, he's like a cool dude. Like every interview you see him in, he's a cool dude. And like he the type of person that you wouldn't think, I don't think he thought something like that could happen to him, where somebody would undercut him like that. And then, you know, Burner come from like the street. So now he's like hitting them with like undercuts and shit. Like he definitely undercutting them, hit him with some snake shit. So like that's what that happened. That's how that whole move happened. With the Runtz, like you said, I think Runtz will survive because Burner showed him how to move around. So you got Moneybag Yo with the Moneybag Runtz. You got Gas House with the Grunt. You've got Napalm doing their little Napalm grenade jumps with all Runtz. Like you said, Runtz will be here in Baltimore pretty soon because they still got the light trays going on. You got white Runtz, you got pink Runtz. Runtz is coming out with so many flavors, and they're doing this street shit. Like they working with some real hustlers. Like I know some dudes in Baltimore. It's a brand in Baltimore called Trolley. They work real close with Young LB of Runtz. So you had the dude who was with Zowers. He passed away last year sometime, but Zowers were with Jokes Up. So you know we got Trolleys, which is a Baltimore company, and you had Zowers, which was a Baltimore company, and they both was with Jokes Up. So Jokes Up they still out here. They got the music game going on with Young L, and a lot of other artists in the music game. So, I mean, Burner showed them the recipe to get the money. So all we got to do is sit back and watch them and see if they can take what they learned and just take the game over, because they got some pretty heavy hitting flour that's really sweet. And they have this whole mystique about their name too, whether you're getting real Runtz or whether you're getting fake Runtz. So you got that in the street where you got people selling fake bags off the hyper Runtz, and then you got people who get real Runtz saying, yo, this is hit. This is the thing. So I think Runtz will survive this whole split. And I think this split, if they play it right, they can play it to their advantage and make their brand level up a little bit more better too.
Yo, if you've ever had real Runtz,
I think they'd be all right.
You'll know if you had real Runtz. That shit hits you like you got punched by Mike Tyson. Like no lie, like the first time I smoked Runtz, it was just like I was stuck. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what time it was, bro. But most of the runs out there is usually they just put like gelato in the bags, and that's just they're like, yeah, this is Runtz, whatever. But you can tell real runs from like fake runs. If you've had it before, you can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah, if the Divine Runtz I bought ain't have like all the like the numbers and shit, and it wasn't like fucking sealed, like heat sealed at the top, I would have thought that shit was fake too, because that shit hit me heavy. I was like, oh shit, this is heavy. Like, did they spray this shit? Like, I'm sitting there looking at the bud and shit, like, yo, what is going on? But like, if it ain't have all that, I probably would have been like, yo, you sold me some like bogus shit that you sprayed, man. Like, give me my money back or something. But nah, this don't like Runtz definitely was a heavy hitter, and the smell on it is so sweet. It smelled like candy. Like it's a weird, very unique strain. It's definitely a good jump. I hope we get in Maryland.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that situation.
Oh, I also got fucking tried to get trolled this week on Reddit for putting some pictures up. Like we got like some we got fans on Reddit like who just they look at our post just to talk shit to us. Because the same guy who was coming at you, Smokers Delight, is the same nigga that hit me up this week. And I trolled the fuck out of him. Like, I trolled the fuck out. I made him so mad. Like, he started calling me a weirdo because I was like, dog, you're a fake patient. Like, you're fake. You're a fake patient. Don't comment. Don't be in my DM no more. Like, this the second. He hit me up twice. Randomly out of the blue. Didn't even comment on my post. Just hit my DM about what I post. And I'm like, yo, like, so what was your problem with the flower then? Like, if you have a complaint, why don't you hit this company up? No, I don't want to do that. I can't help you, bro. Like, I'm just a dude who enjoyed this flower. Like, I'm posting what I enjoy. Like, if you have complaints to the company. I can't do that. Well, what was your problem with the flower? I would never buy no flower like that. All right, then shut up. Don't talk to me no more, bro. Like, you have no opinion, bro.
You can provide a picture of your purchase, sir.
Right. No.
Yeah, I don't think this person has smoked anything in the program. Literally everything this person says it's all mids. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like actually quality cannabis. The person will be like, it's like the same person. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's why I kept calling him I called him a fake patient, called him a poser. Like, every time he tried to come back, all right, poser, you are paid, whatever. Yeah, cool, whatever. Go buy something from the dispensary, bro. Like he was getting mad. He was getting mad as hell that he just stopped texting. He just stopped messaging me. I was like, good, job done. Troll the troll. Fuck out of here.
Like, he called me an industry plant. Yeah, like, okay, first of all, I don't even work in the industry. Like, I'm a chef. Like, I don't work in the industry, and you know what I mean? Like, if I did work in the industry, like, I wouldn't constantly like, oh yeah, this is like, I don't think everything is good. You know what I mean? Like, I have my valid opinions about certain brands, especially about Colta, like leading in charge with this whole thing. Like, I'm vocal about this stuff. I've made videos, I've posted it on YouTube, on my IG. I'm not an industry plant. Like, I'll tell you straight up how I feel about a product. If it's dry, I'm not going to lie to the people that like view my content or like watch whatever it is that I post on Facebook or whatever. Like, I don't lie to people, so I'm not sitting there going, yeah, it's all good, like, when it's not. So I thought that was interesting to be called an industry plant. You know what I mean? I'm like, where did that come from?
Whole time, truthfully, if the industry try to pay us, I'll plant some shit in there on Reddit all day.
I was like, we gonna give it a fair one, but y'all hoes gonna be, I said, not y'all brothers, but you internet hoes gonna be the first ones to know when I'm an industry plug. That's why we doing it. I'm like, guess what, bitch, I made it.
From Toronto. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
by not my pockets. That's the fair disclaimer, because I've been doing something like.
So, Verano, G Leaf, also, if y'all want to pay me to say some shit, fine, it's fine, bro. You want to pay me to say it.
You wearing cookies from head to toe. You got a cookies hat on, cookie lanyard.
Right, no. He was asking me how much a company was paying me to say this. I'm like, I wish they was paying me to say I just like the flower. But if I can get paid to say I like it and I like it too, that's a double win. I wish I was winning like this. No, I just was able to grab this specific strain before it got sold out.
It's about being paid or at least supplied for your quality, genuine opinion. Just like the gamers doing all that shit or whatever. Like niggas that be talking game reviews, they just get shipped the games. They still get to trash them Jones if they trash. But send me all the shit because I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, like if y'all want to pay us, like for all those Reddit lovers, I ain't even gonna call y'all haters because y'all pay attention enough to our content to know what we do. So all those Reddit lovers, like we are not paid for this. We just talk about the quality stuff that we pick up. We think it's quality. We think it's worthy of reviewing or talking about. We just do that. But you industry guys, if you like our content and you want to pay us, we're not above that either.
And like the thing about being a reviewer, you review everything. It doesn't matter if it's the higher tier stuff or the lower tier stuff. Like there's somebody that's gonna like all of it in between. You know what I mean? So I started my whole channel by just being like, all right, I'm gonna review everything that I get. Because being new in the program, I didn't know what was the top stuff at the time or what was the lower stuff. So I started, with like SunMed and like I liked a lot of that stuff and Harvest. Like a lot of people knock that stuff, but it's good, it's quality. Like you'll find like the good batches with the bad batches with any brand. You know what I mean? No one is exempt from having some booty cheeks like, Cannabis out there versus like the good shit. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody's like, oh my God, you smoke Forward Grow or SunMed? They're like, yeah, I've smoked that stuff and it's quality stuff. You know what I mean? You want a little 25/8 or something? Hell yeah, I'll get me some mimosa. Like, come on, fam. Like, I'm not.
That pie crust?
You know what I mean? Come on, bro. Like,
pie crust,
it gets to a point where it's like, you gotta just test everything out to know what you like. And people just constantly like, yo, Culture cookies is the only thing that's good in this state. How, bro? Tell me, when you got District Cannabis dropping mad flavors, like they got Cherry Kim coming in the next few weeks or so. They got gelato cake. Everybody is talking about gelato cake in any form you go to. They're talking about it. You know what I mean? So like constantly saying all this other shit. Come on, man.
Yeah. Like the other day, I picked up some orange chocolate cream. Like it's at 16%, but the terps is like 2.8 terps. That's a tasty flower. Like I purchased it just to taste the flower. Like I'm not getting this like, oh, I'm about to get super ripped because the THC numbers aren't as high as I'd like them to be. But that terpene profile was there, and that's what I was looking for, and that's why I purchased it. So, we are trying to educate the people on Reddit that, cannabis is more than just getting ripped. Like, we're not 16 anymore, guys. Like, if you're 16 on Reddit and you smoke cannabis to get ripped, stay the fuck off the comments because you don't know nothing yet. And keep getting ripped until you become quality and want to look for some quality shit. But cannabis and want to consume it, like, for the different experiences. Like, yes, THC numbers are great, but you know what I'm saying? What's the terpene profile? Or like I was telling you guys the other day, I bought some GDP, picked it up like I want to say it was like a 1.8 or 9% terpene profile, 17% THC level, and it wrecked me like it always did. It was GDP. I picked it up just for the name. It was GDP. I want to say.
It was that strain, right?
Yep, it was strain. Yep.
And I got the pre-roll of that last week.
It was heavy.
Yeah.
So
that shit smacked me.
Educate folks that sometimes you gotta look at all the nuances to enjoy cannabis. It's not just about terpene profiles alone, or it's not just about THC numbers alone. It's the entire experience. You know what I'm saying? What you're tasting, what you're feeling. How much myrcene in there, how much limonene in there, linalool in there, how much is this and that, you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to be educational, folks.
Know what you did with your day and how things went. Like, Did you have a plan for the day already? Did you achieve that plan? Did it go awry? Did you achieve more? Did you go work out? Did you cook? Did you play some music in your car ride and that shit was cranking extra heavy? Note all that shit. That shit really count. But then when you understand that science, that's when you start to understand, oh, that's what I really like about it. That's what I love about the cannabis, especially if I understand and go find that math in some kind of way again. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. And just like, oh yeah, I'm just smoking just to get fucked up. And it's like I like to talk about the medicinal like properties of cannabis, especially like having a real chronic pain. And I'm not talking about like that chronic, but I'm talking about the chronic pain when it comes to what your ailment is. Like if someone has like, you know, anxiety, depression, you name it, and it helps with that. And it's not just like I'm going out to get ripped, but you know, to each his own. People smoke for their different reasons. I'm not knocking it at all. We're not knocking it for the viewers. It's just at some point some shit has got to start to shift here, especially within the community. If we want real change and we want to be able to actually have home grow or have full legalization, I feel like a lot of shit in the industry has to change. But will it change just like any other industry? Probably not, unfortunately.
We'll try, I guess. We'll try at least to try to change it. So we'll do the best.
Absolutely.
Well, it was a great show, guys. I know each and every one of us got to go and we got to, you know, carry on our day. It's good talking to you guys.
Sure, man.
Hopefully we can get up and do some interviews. We're praying that Verano hits us back. So Verano, if there's a rep that's watching this show, please hit us back. We're trying to interview you. We love your company. We love your brand. Please hit us back. It's a great show. See you guys next time. Sour Music.
Smokers of life.
Ashbox P.
Peace out,
Thank you guys. Peace.